Another year, another winter, another Christmas. 2017 sure has been a ride, for better or for worse. The video game industry has been reaching new heights of product monetization, if you know what I mean. The world in general has also been total chaos this past year, especially when it comes to politics. Feels like everyone is always ready to point fingers and like we're closer and closer to another world war. But maybe that's just how the internet is. My personal life has also been going through changes. Some good, some bad. And hey, I started this YouTube channel. My plan to release at least one video every week sure was a rude awakening to my procrastinating self. But you know what? It's Christmas, and I want to enjoy it like I used to instead of being all gloomy about life. And thankfully there are many ways to get in the seasonal spirit. The simplest way is to just play season-appropriate games. It's winter, so you play winter games, or something close enough to that. In fact, that's one of the things I've been doing. But games about winter sports aren't the only choices. There are plenty of games set in vaguely appropriate areas to pick from. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim is one of the most popular examples of this, featuring a lot of snowy mountains to explore. And of course, there are always sprinkles of winter in all sorts of games. Snow levels are no strangers to video games, although you're usually faced with slippery death traps. Snow tracks are also a staple of racing games, giving you the chance to traverse a beautiful but rather treacherous road. There's nothing quite like speeding through half the track perfectly, only to royally blow it all away by crashing into a tree or something. Then there are life simulation games like Harvest Moon and The Sims and whatnot. Those tend to be high on the taking it easy spectrum, regardless of what time of the year it is, but it's always nice when the in-game events match the real ones. Unless you let one of your animals die. That's just depressing. But these are just games with winter, not 100% Christmas-themed games. Being the ever-popular celebration that it is, you can be sure that there's more than a handful of Christmas games out there. Like this one, Santa Claus in Trouble. It was developed by Joymania Development and published in 2002 by CDV Software, who at one point was the biggest publisher in Germany. They won't be celebrating Christmas this year though, because the company bit the bullet in 2010. The story behind it is simple. CDV Software tasked Joymania with creating a simple Christmas game, which would then be released for free, not only as a gift to the people supporting them, but of course also as a way to advertise the company and their products. Indeed, when you exit the game, a few ads for their upcoming titles show up, and the extra life pickups are rotating CDV logos. What is surprising, however, is that it's actually pretty fun. Santa Claus lost his presents and needs your help to get them back. You play as the jolly old man and jump between platforms, collecting presents and avoiding enemies. That's it. The controls don't get much more simple than this. Run, rotate the camera and jump. Santa also has a double jump, which you'll need to use more than a few times. The first few levels shouldn't pose any trouble, but it certainly gets tricky later on. There are 10 levels in total, and starting with level 7, the difficulty takes a bit of a jump, as does Santa sometimes. However, by then I also started getting vaguely annoyed with the controls. They are fine for the most part, but when you're jumping between moving platforms and avoiding birds, not being able to strafe left or right is kind of a problem. That said, you do get infinite continues, so with enough patience you'll get there. You also need some patience for the music. I mean, it's nice and features the Christmas classics you'd expect, but each track is short and there is only a handful of them. The game can be completed in 1 or 2 hours, depending on how many times you let Santa fall to his doom, but you will have heard the entire soundtrack in the first 10 minutes. Still, even with its flaws, Santa Claus in Trouble is a charming little game, and considering its non-existent price, it's a pretty nice gift from a video game company. Many other people must have thought the same, because 2 years later it got a full-fledged sequel called Santa Claus in Trouble. Again. Another game that I want to give the spotlight to is Prezzie Hunt, another freeware game. It was originally created by Robert Hindle in 2005, but received a yearly update with a new level all the way until 2012. It's a simple first-person exploration game in which you need to collect a number of presents in each level. It's repetitive and not exactly the next Crisis, but the game itself isn't why I want to talk about it. Robert created Prezzie Hunt not for recognition or experience, but as a Christmas gift for his kids to enjoy. This game is a good example of Christmas spirit. It's at this time of the year, more than any other, that we should spend some quality time with our loved ones and relax after another year of work, unless you work in retail. Of course, this gets harder the more we grow old. Just like our birthdays, Christmas seems less special with each year that passes. As children, we got hyped for the presents and special treatment we would get. As adults, we have many responsibilities taking our time, and we don't get the special treatment, so it's no longer anywhere near as interesting as it used to be. And according to the game's README file, in 2011, Robert was considering putting an end to the Prezzie Hunt updates since his kids had lost interest in the project. That's kind of sad. 2012 saw the final update. In 2015, Prezzie Hunt 2 was released. It now runs on a new engine, but the gameplay remains the same. However, it seems that Robert found a lot of problems with the new engine and gave up on updating it, so it seems that it's going to forever have a single level. Man, this video is getting rather gloomy. Let's talk about something else. So far, we've taken a look at the individual Christmas games. But what if you don't want to play a different game from your usual ones? Just as there are entire Christmas games, there are add-ons, updates and mods for existing games to give them a seasonal feel. It's not unusual for games with dedicated post-release development to do this for various times of the year as an incentive to keep playing or return to the game after a break. MMOs like World of Warcraft, online shooters like Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Quake Champions, family-friendly browser games. A select few companies even went all the way and released entire expansion packs. One example of this is Chicken Invaders, a lesser-known series of shmups by Interaction Studios, which started all the way back in 1999. The premise is simple: space chickens are invading. Kill them all. You have your standard power-ups, screen-clearing nukes, enemies that come in fancy formations, etc. Starting with the second game, The Next Wave, Interaction Studios started releasing special commemorative versions for Halloween, Easter and of course, Christmas. These deck out the games in appropriate decorations and has you fight against gingerbread and snowmen, because of course they do. The games don't take themselves very seriously, and to be honest that's really the only thing that separates the series from other shoot 'em ups, but it's still worth checking out. Or should I say, chickening out. Not gonna lie, I crack a smile hearing the chickens explode into burgers and, well, chicken legs. If you're interested, you can download the original Chicken Invaders for free from the official website. It has incompatibilities with Windows 8 and later, but can be fixed with the ever-magical DG Voodoo 2. If the above suggestions aren't an option, there is still hope thanks to the lovely world of game modding. If your favorite game is popular enough, there's a chance that some fine gentleman made something for Christmas. This is Unreal Tournament 2004. Like the name implies, it was released in 2004, and as far as I'm concerned, it still hasn't been surpassed by any other multiplayer-focused FPS. It's fast, entertaining, and has a truckload of content. However, it's not exactly the most family-friendly game. Death in Unreal Tournament isn't a tragedy. It's inevitable, and likely in a gruesome way. This is Unreal Tournament 2004 with mods. Now we're talking Christmas spirit. There's nothing quite like letting go of your worries by blowing someone's head off and stealing their tree while Christmas music plays in the background. The only thing that could make it better is if Epic got off their racy behinds and finished the new Unreal already. What? This isn't Christmassy enough for you? Alright then, here's something else. Remember Pokémon Platinum? Aside from the usual third version improvements, it also changed the Sinnoh region into something a bit more wintry. What if someone did the same to another Pokémon game? Say hello to Pokémon Christmas, a ROM hack of Pokémon Gold created by Matteo, who is currently working on the excellent Red++, a modernized update to the original Pokémon Red, but that's for another time. Maybe. Pokémon Christmas gives Gold a makeover, with the graphics having been changed to make it feel like Johto during winter, and there are a couple of new events relating to the holidays. Which makes sense, it's called Pokémon Christmas after all. It's not just a graphical update, however. The physical and special split introduced in Generation 4 has been implemented, and there are a few new mechanics added. Areas that were cut between Generation 1 and 2, such as the Viridian Forest, have been restored, existing areas have been changed to more closely resemble those from the remakes, and some previously existing Pokémon were replaced with ones from newer generations, such as the highly appropriate Glaceon. While the battle mechanics and balance aren't quite as revamped as those in ROM hacks such as Polished Crystal, it's still worth checking out if you're a Pokémon fan. And heck, it's Generation 2. To me, it's always awesome starting a new journey in it, even if I don't play the vanilla versions anymore. Unfortunately, the latest version available is incomplete and ends at the Elite Four. Considering that it was released in 2014 and that the author is busy with something else, an update probably won't be coming this year. Still, there's enough stuff on offer to be worth checking out at this time of the year. Hopefully, this video has given you a few ideas of ways to spend your Christmas. Or maybe your next Christmas, since 2017 is almost over. Either way, there's not much else for me to say. Enjoy your holidays, have fun, and most importantly, Merry Christmas. Yes, I really just wanted to make that pun.